Hello again, welcome to Mark Groupie Outdoors. I'm your host, Mark Groupie. Today we're doing a little video segment. It's going to hopefully be a more regular feature. Today we're going to talk about backpacks and what's in your backpack. In the future it might be about your vehicle, it might be more specifically about some of the items we're going to show you here, but it's going to be a more frequent contribution. We'd love to hear any suggestions that you have and any input you have on what we're giving you. So today's video segment, we're going to talk to you about your backpack and what's in your backpack for Western big game hunts. Make sure that you pick a pack that fits you well and is going to handle all of your needs. We've been using Nimrod Packs. It's very versatile. It fits me very well, and I can use it just as a fanny pack. I got a 1,300 cubic inch pack here, a 3,000 cubic inch pack that I can attach here. I can disassemble that whole thing, just use it as a fanny pack. I can attach a smaller day pack, whatever I want. I can lash a lot of stuff to it. So again, it fits me very comfortably, and it takes care of all my needs. I've got different things I can attach to it to put range finders, all kinds of different gear in. So when you're out there and you're hunting, you need to make sure you know where you're going. So of course we have a GPS, and we're going to have a spare battery with that, or maybe you use other batteries that you could also use for your flashlights or headlamps. Map, because the batteries will never crap out in your map. A compass, batteries will never crap out in your compass. You may want to take one or two different lights for redundancy. You're going to want to have backup batteries for it to make sure that you are not left high and dry in the middle of the night. Cord, you may want to take a whole bunch of cord with you. You could take 100 feet, that's quite a bit. You could just take a handful of feet. That's going to be able to hang your game bags and tie your tents down or whatever emergency you might need. Speaking of tents, you can spend as much on a tent as you want. We're going to give you some different options. You can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a one-man tent or a bivvy tent, or just a really nice all-weather tent, or you can go cheaper just for emergency things. You can go to Big 5 and get yourself a tube tent here for not much money. Another thing you might want to consider for your pack is this 6 foot by 8 foot light duty tarp here and some stakes. And with that, if there's an emergency, bad weather, I can set that up as a tent. When I've got an elk or deer on the ground, I can lay the quarters on that and I can skin them out, keep everything clean. So it's really come in handy. Plastic bags here, never a bad idea. An emergency blanket, again, depending on how far you're going back in and what your needs and what you already have, could be a good thing to have. All right, another handy thing to have is this little thermarest pad. You can use this one, or you can get an inflatable one that takes up less space, but it's really handy for if you're glassing, you're sitting down or kneeling or something like that a long time on some hard ground. Kind of makes things feel a little bit better. Neck gaiter keeps your neck real warm. You can pull it all the way up to your ears, keep your ears warm. Also use it as a face covering. Speaking of face covering, you could also use a mesh net, or you can go to a camouflage compact with different colors to smear on your face. Wind indicator, but you should be getting pretty good at telling where the wind's coming without that. For big game, elk, caribou, moose, you're going to want to have some real big game bags to go into your pack. If it's a smaller animal like a deer and it's whole, you can use a smaller bag. As you can see, you get away with much less space in your pack. A saw, handy to have, cutting off antlers. I put some electrical tape over the teeth just to keep it from tearing and ripping at my pack, and easier access to it. All right, so once you've got your animal down, you're going to have to be able to take them apart, and with that, of course, you're going to need your knives. So I usually carry one heavier bladed knife. That could be an opening knife, folding knife. Either one, that's kind of a personal preference for you. Also, one of these disposable blade knives. Several manufacturers make them. They're super sharp. You just take off a blade and dispose of that, put on a new blade, and you have a razor sharp knife ready to go. Some people like to carry a multi-tool with them. They have a saw, a knife, a bottle opener, pliers, wire cutters, all kinds of things. But you're going to have to determine if you want to carry around that extra weight. Some Allen wrenches, very important to have in my opinion, just because as a bow hunter with sights and rests and everything like that, that require Allen wrenches. This is very important to have. A way of sharpening a knife, you can use one of these stones. You can use these rods here that aren't so heavy, that open very easily and sharpen your knife. On my knives, a lot of times I'll wrap some duct tape and some electrical tape, because inevitably I can use that for different purposes, either on our camera gear, my bow. My wife's quiver started falling apart. There's a number of ways that tape can come into handy. So with this, you've got a basic idea of what you're going to need, and we'll get more specific on this on later videos. Thanks for tuning in to Mark Ruppy Outdoors.